In this video, you are going to learn 5 hidden keys to a commercial contract. Why is that so important? It is so important because a commercial contract, once it is signed, it is legally binding, which means you can be sued if you don't carry out the contract or if you don't take it serious. Number 3, you can also lose money, worse, waste money in a commercial contract if it is written improperly. Okay, or not in your favor. And number 4, but if done well, this is where the best deals begin. They start right here with these 5 hidden keys. So let's get started with key number 1. Here is key number 1. Key number 1 is you absolutely, and I put that on purpose, you absolutely need these 4 contingency clauses in your commercial contract. They are your contract should be, your transaction should be contingent upon you inspecting the property for a certain amount of days, finding a loan, an acceptable loan for the property, contingent also having clean title to the property to make sure there's no liens on it, and fourthly, to have the ability for the property to appraise for the contract price. These 4 need to be in there. If they're not in your contract, don't do the deal. Okay, this is a hidden key because some of these clauses may be removed by the real estate agent, by the seller, or by the seller's attorney. If that's the case, do not do the deal. In our company, Commercial Property Advisors, we have one coach who is responsible for all the contracts that make sure they are written well to our students' benefit, and these are the main 4. Okay, here's the reason why. There's a video I want you to watch. It's called Caveat Emptor. Okay? The link will appear on the screen. By the way, Caveat Emptor means buyer beware. In that video, I share with you that when you purchase a home, a single family home, for example, when you go into contract, the seller, the owner of the property has to fill out these disclosures of what's wrong with the property, what the income is, any defects, things like that. Okay? Written down that he signed. So if he lies to you, you can come back and sue him. Right? In commercial real estate, we have no such thing. No such thing exists. The seller can lie through his teeth and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? This is why these contingencies are so important. Okay? So watch this video, but also make sure key number 1 is at the minimum have these 4 contingencies. All right? Okay, let's go to key number 2. Key number 2 is so important, okay? So key number 2 is you need sufficient time, that means number of days, to conduct thorough inspections and to find a good loan, okay? When an agent or seller is pushing you with a 10-day period to do all of this, that's a red flag. Maybe they're trying to hide something. Maybe they know you can't do it, so they're going to keep your earnest money deposit. But regardless, 10 days, when you see the 10-day or even 20-day, that's a red flag. You need to get at least, there's a minimum of 30 business days to do thorough inspections and to get a loan. Minimum, okay? So don't fall for the 10-day period when it's requested. You need time to renegotiate the deal. Let's face it, you're going to have to get an electrician, a general contractor, a plumber, a roofer, HVAC person, all out there. Sometimes it takes 10 days just to schedule them. So you cannot do all this in 10 days. Don't fall for that. Secondly, today's lenders are taking twice as long as they did 1 or 2 years ago. Okay, you got the higher interest rates. Some of the lenders aren't lending in the area anymore. And let's face it, some of our deals have died right here because the loans aren't coming back where the property cash flows. You need time. Okay, that's key number 2. Let's go to key number 3. Here we are with key number 3. Key number 3 is where a lot of beginning commercial real estate investors mess up right here. And they bring us in as a company after the fact, and there's really nothing we can do. And they're going to lose their $50,000, $100,000 deposit because they didn't pay attention to the hidden key back here. Okay, now listen up here. So key number 3 is your earnest money deposit clause, your EMD clause. Your earnest money deposit is your good faith money that you put into the deal as a good faith gesture of you following the rules and following through with the contract. It is contingent upon many things, but there's a couple points I want to make here within that clause that sometimes could be hidden. Number one is, when does the EMD become non-refundable? Okay, usually you have 30 business days to do all your inspections, and if all your inspections come out great, right, and then there's nothing to fix and you're okay with the inspections, that's when their earnest money deposit, the EMD, goes non-refundable. Okay, so you need to know, when is that date? Okay, when is that date? If you forget, you're going to lose your deposit. Okay. Number two, is it non-refundable on day one? Sometimes in the contract, it tells you you are making a good faith deposit that goes non-refundable as soon as you get under contract, and you can read right over it and really get trapped into this deal. Okay. The last one here is really important. Okay. Did the seller's attorney write it in such a way, okay, this EMD clause, that it is impossible to get it refunded just in case you terminate the contract? Wow. Yeah, that can be in there, okay, where the attorney will put that in there. Remember, their attorney is not working for you. He's working for them. So any advantage he can give to them to make them money or to make himself money, he would do it. And you don't read that part, that's on you. Okay, so this is a hidden key. Know and understand all of the intricacies of your earnest money deposit clause. All right, let's go to key number 4. Key number 4. Okay, here's key number 4. What if your seller decides, you know what, I know we signed a contract, but I decided not to go through with it. I want to take a higher price and I don't want to deal with it anymore. What if he decides to do that and you have a signed contract? Well, legally, he can't do that, legally. And there should be a clause in the contract that says neither of you can do that. If one of you decides to default on the contract or not to perform the contract, there are consequences. Losing earnest money deposit, suing each other, forcing each other to perform. Okay, so those are all the consequences of it. Now, here is the 4th hidden key. Okay, the 4th hidden key on the seller-buyer default clause is make sure that this clause, okay, the seller and buyer default clause, is not one way, okay, favoring the seller only. Okay, what I mean by that is both seller and buyer should have equal rights if either does not perform in the contract. Okay, equal penalties if one person misbehaves in the contract. Okay, now I want you to really, where I see this the most is when attorneys write the contracts for their sellers, or where agents are representing the seller and not representing you in both of their contracts. It may have a situation where if you back out, there's harsh consequences, but if the seller backs out, there's minimal consequences. You don't want that. It needs to be equal. So beware when you're looking at attorney contracts or agent, real estate agent listed property contracts. All right, so seller buyer default clause, that is a hidden key to commercial contract you need to be very aware of. There's lots of legalese in it, lots of words in it. Make sure you understand it. All right, let's go to the 5th and final key, number 5. Last but not least, key number 5. Okay, here's a situation. What if you're in contract? You put up a earnest money deposit of $25,000, right? And you go and you start your due diligence, and let's say you're in Florida, or you're in the areas of Houston where the hurricanes and tornadoes have wrecked an area where you find out the insurance cost is so high that you can't cash flow, right? So can you get out of the deal because of that? In most cases, no. In most cases, no. So what I'm suggesting here, in areas like that where you have a lot of insurance claims where the insurance cost is very high, okay, and we have identified those areas, I want you to include an insurance cost contingency clause. What that means is if you cannot find affordable or reasonable insurance costs, you can terminate the deal and get your earnest money out, okay, scot-free. All right, so again, if you can't locate acceptable insurance premiums for your deal while under contract, you can terminate the contract and get your earnest money returned. We want that written in the contract. Okay? So there are areas whereby insurance costs have gone up 3 times. They've tripled from just a few years ago. Some of them are areas of Texas, South Carolina, Northern California, just to name a few. Okay? And the high insurance premiums have killed some of our deals. Okay? And had we not had our contingency clause in there, our earnest money deposit, $2,500, $100,000 will be trapped in there. And if we didn't go ahead and go through with the deal and pay this high insurance and have negative cash flow, we would lose our earnest money deposit. Okay, so that's very important. That's a hidden gem for you if you are located in one of those areas. Got it? All right. Thank you everyone for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed the 5 hidden keys to a commercial contract. And if you did, let me know. Go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hey, if you want to learn more about this business, go ahead and there's a link that will appear for our book, Commercial Real Estate for Beginners. Click on the link. It's yours free. Just read it. If you want to learn more how we create value and wealth for our students in our Protege program, the link will appear right there. Thanks everyone. You enjoy your day. Thanks again for hanging out with me. I'll see you at the next video.